how huge he was in that.
He's so big.
Oh my God.
Maradona is
it's like a god, isn't it?
Demigod.
In Napoli.
He's like a demigod there.
Wow.
He's
Finally settled, Diego Maradona remains suspended from all footballing activity.
Just when you think you've seen it all in football, I promise you, you haven't. You've watched Messi break records, Ronaldo defy age, Mbappe explode with speed, and Haaland bulldoze his way through defenses. But have you ever truly witnessed the madness, the magic, the pure chaos that was Diego Armando Maradona? No, not highlights, not whispers of the hand of God. I mean the real story, the unfiltered roller coaster of a man who didn't just play football, he tore it apart. Arrogant, ruthless, gifted beyond belief. Maradona wasn't just a footballer, he was football's most dangerous artist. He dribbled like a demon, scored like a machine, bent free kicks as if the ball obeyed only him. And he did it all with a rebellious fire. Clubs feared him, defenders dreaded him, and fans, they worshipped him. Not just in Argentina, but in Naples, Italy, a place that still carries his face on murals, his name in chants, and his spirit in the streets. Maradona didn't have a rival because no one could reach his level. He lifted Napoli from dust to glory. He put them on the map alone. He made them kings, and in return, they made him a god. But as much as he owned the pitch, he lost the war off it. Cocaine became his curse, his constant companion, the shadow that haunted his genius. He wasn't just touched by greatness, he was consumed by it. Maradona was a living paradox, a footballing monster with the heart of a boy and the flaws of a man drowning in temptation. He could have given us more, so much more. But even what he left behind, legends haven't caught up yet. This isn't just a football story. This is the rise, reign, and fall of the most electrifying player the world has ever seen. The prodigy from Villa Fiorito. He was born on October 30th, 1960 in Villa Fiorito, one of the roughest neighborhoods in Buenos Aires. In a house with no running water, surrounded by poverty and dust, Maradona's first love wasn't a person, it was a ball. By the time he was 8, he had joined Los Cebolitas, the youth team of Argentinos juniors, and had already become a street legend. At 15, he made his professional debut for Argentinos juniors, and for 5 straight years, 1976 to 1981, he terrorized defenses. In 166 appearances, he scored 116 goals. The kid was magic. Nutmegs, no-look passes, golazos. Argentina had never seen anything like it. Scouts drooled, fans worshipped, and defenders just cried. This little magician didn't just play football, he painted masterpieces on grass. Boca, fame, and fireworks. In 1981, Diego fulfilled his dream of playing for his boyhood club, Boca Juniors. He moved for $4 million, a record for Argentine football at the time. In just one season, he won the league title and instantly became a Boca icon. But even then, behind the fame, the cracks were showing. Partying, clashes with management, and rumors of off-field distractions. Still, fans didn't care. At La Bombonera, every Maradona touch was met with hysteria. Boca didn't just sign a player, they adopted a god. But Europe was calling, and the biggest clubs wanted a piece of the chaos. Barcelona, talent unleashed, temper unhinged in 1982, Barcelona splashed a then world record $7.6 million to bring Diego to Spain. And yes, he dazzled. In 58 games, he netted 38 goals and delivered jaw-dropping assists. He even got a standing ovation at the Santiago Bernabeu as a Barca player. That's like getting cheered at your ex's wedding while holding hands with their sibling. But Diego's time in Catalonia spiraled fast. Injuries, hepatitis, and a notorious brawl during the 1984 Copa del Rey final against Athletic Club, where he went full Mortal Kombat, knocking players out cold with headbutts and flying knees, forced Barcelona's hand. Enough was enough. The genius had become too volatile. He was sold. Now this the fact, it was the 1984 Copa del Rey final. Barcelona versus Athletic Bilbao. The stage, Santiago Bernabeu. The crowd, 100,000 strong. And in the royal box, King Juan Carlos himself. But what started as a football match turned into an unforgettable war zone. For months, Maradona had endured racist taunts about his Native American ancestry from Bilbao fans. They called him every name in the book: savage, Indio, animal. He never forgot. And after a brutal tackle months earlier by Bilbao's Andoni Goicoechea, who earned the nickname the Butcher of Bilbao for nearly breaking Maradona's ankle, Diego came into this match burning. Barcelona lost 1-0, but that wasn't the story. At full time, Bilbao's Miguel Sola mocked Diego, getting inches from his face, throwing xenophobic slurs and mimicking the racist gestures from the crowd. Maradona, already holding back months of rage, snapped. He headbutted Sola square in the face, elbowed another player, and kneed one so hard in the head he was knocked out cold. That was the spark. Chaos erupted. Bilbao players swarmed him. Goicoechea landed a flying kick to Maradona's chest. Barcelona players rushed to defend their superstar, and what followed was an all-out brawl. Flying punches, kicks, chokes. Maradona was in the eye of the storm, swinging at anyone in red and white. On live TV, with the Spanish king watching, fans hurled bottles and solid objects onto the pitch. Security couldn't contain it. 60 people were injured in the chaos. It was pure madness. That match would be Diego's last ever game for Barcelona. The club had seen enough. One executive said, "When I saw those scenes of Maradona fighting and the chaos that followed, I realized we couldn't go any further with him." Between frequent clashes with club president Josep Luis Núñez, injuries, and now this, the decision was sealed. Despite scoring 38 goals in 58 appearances, Barcelona shipped him off to Napoli for £6.9 million, $10.48 million, another world record fee. He left Spain not as a footballer, but as a whirlwind, loved, hated, unforgettable. Napoli, the Church of Diego, enter Napoli. In 1984, the Italian club paid $10.5 million, setting another world record. And what followed? It wasn't just a transfer, it was a religious awakening. When Maradona landed, 75,000 people packed the Stadio San Paolo to greet him. "We don't need a mayor, we need Maradona," one banner read. That was the mood. Napoli weren't just underdogs, they were nobodies in a league ruled by the North. But Diego, he turned them into giants. In 1986-87, he led Napoli to their first ever Serie A title and followed it up with another Scudetto in 1989-90. He won the Coppa Italia in 1987, the UEFA Cup in 1989, and the Super Coppa in 1990. And followed 259 games, he scored 115 goals, assisted dozens more, and created memories that would last lifetimes. But his impact went beyond stats. Diego was Naples. Street murals, holy chants, babies named Maradona. Fans called him San Diego, and you could find shrines to him next to pictures of the Virgin Mary. He united a city divided by poverty and discrimination, but he also unraveled under the same weight. As success soared, so did his addiction. Cocaine, parties with the mafia, missed training, it all caught up. In 1991, he tested positive and was banned for 15 months. Napoli, heartbroken, parted ways with their fallen king. But even today, if you whisper Maradona in Naples, you'll hear fireworks. Sevilla and the return home. After his ban, he joined Sevilla in 1992 for $7.5 million. The spark was still there, but it flickered. In just 29 games, he scored 7 goals, clashed with teammates, fought with management, the usual. Europe felt like it had moved on, but Maradona wasn't done. In 1993, he returned to Argentina, joining Newell's Old Boys. He played just 5 games, didn't score, but packed stadiums like the Second Coming. That same year, he made a final push with the national team at the 1994 World Cup, looking fit, firing goals, until he got kicked out after testing positive for ephedrine. That haunting image of him screaming into the camera, eyes wide, pupils wild, became the unofficial end of his international career. Boca and the final whistle. In 1995, Maradona made his last footballing return, this time to Boca Juniors. He played 2 more years with glimpses of magic and many more headlines. Failed drug tests, on-field tantrums, and some outrageous moments defined his swan song. He finally retired in 1997 on his 37th birthday. By then, Maradona was already more myth than man. He'd scored 259 club goals, led Argentina to World Cup glory in 1986, reached another final in 1990, and created some of the greatest footballing moments in history. But the demons never left. The death of a god. On November 25th, 2020, the world stood still. Diego Maradona passed away from a heart attack at the age of 60, just weeks after brain surgery. Argentina declared 3 days of national mourning. Napoli renamed their stadium to Stadio Diego Armando Maradona. In Buenos Aires, fans flooded the streets, lighting flares, crying, chanting. It wasn't just the death of a man. It felt like the death of magic. Despite the chaos, the scandals, the drugs, the violence, millions mourned him. Because Diego wasn't just a footballer, he was an emotion, a contradiction, a man who brought joy, madness, and unforgettable memories. Legend or myth? Maradona was imperfect, deeply, painfully imperfect, but he also gave us some of football's most perfect moments. The hand of God, the goal of the century, Napoli's fairy tale, Argentina's golden run. He lived like a rock star, ruled like a king, and fell like a tragic hero. Was he the greatest? Maybe. Was he the wildest? Definitely. Let us know your favorite Maradona memory in the comments, and if you want more epic stories like this one, subscribe, because we're just getting started. Rest in peace, Diego. You were chaos, but you were our chaos.